What is up, you guys? So I just want to hop into this very quickly because I have heard an update with high level called Super Agents. So if you're familiar with Agents Studio, where you build out the flow to create an AI agent that connect the integration and stuff like that, they now build a supposedly smarter and easier to work with super agents. So, what is a super agent basically? So, if you're familiar with flow agent, this is the traditional agent flow that they were using. So now it's called Flow Agent, and this is the one that they used to use before the initial one, the very first one where you build. I don't really have an agent in this sub account, so we're gonna just check it out. So it's basically a flow builder where you can drop the nodes, put the prompt into each of the nodes. So there's a lot of things that you can do here, and you can trigger it with a workflow and any kinds of triggers. But now, if you're not really someone who is into prompting and all those kind of things, what you can do now is that they have the super agent. And like I mentioned, this is supposed to be smarter. So, what is the difference? So, with super agent, you just chat with the agent, tell it what you want it to do. So, if you want a social media manager or social media assistant to help you draft or schedule a post, it can do that. It can build the entire workflow for you through the chat. So we're going to hop into this. I just created one earlier, and it's what's good about this is that they do have quite a few of the templates that is very usable for the users. So I'm going to hop into it and just show you exactly how it's going to look like. So I'm going to create an agent over here, and once you click that create an agent, it will send you over here to start with a template that is pre-built. So we have the knowledge base assistant. So it answers the question using your knowledge base, which is going to be ideal if your agent is someone who's doing um, the Q&A or answering the frequently asked questions or doing just minor support. And we have community moderators. So if you have a community inside High Level, the Go Collab, you can definitely use this to manage, welcome, answer questions, plug content, just help you manage your community. So you will have a community manager or moderator without having to hire someone to do it for you. And then it can also build you an email, and it can be triggered by chat. You can tell it like, write me an email about this and that, and it will automatically draft that and send that to targeted customers or leads that you have based on tags or segments. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, they have a template here to do the social media posting. But what if your use case is not in this template? So it's very basic. Like I mentioned, you just chat with the agent. So let's say it's not in here. So let's say because I have here in AI Studio, I did a calculator for this specific client. And then there is a booking link. So what I want to do is that create an agent. Kits. I'm going to hit enter. And now you can see over here, it's working, it's magic. As you can see, it's building the agent now based solely upon the prompt that we've created. So like I mentioned, this is my first time hopping into this, and I just want to show you exactly how it looked like, the way that I want to see it myself, because I'm just testing this out. So I want to see how good it actually is compared to actually creating an agent manually and then the automations manually. So there you have it. Now it has the instruction. And now we have that, meaning that it has been completed. So it has the name over here, the direction of what it needs to do, and then the trigger. So the W2 diagnosis submitted. So that will be the trigger. We can add more trigger over here. Let's say the lead have a tag. You can add that N in here, or you can add in the chat message in Ask AI. So if you are an admin and you have access to Ask AI, and let's say you're working with an email, a blog post, social media, you can trigger this using the chat in Ask AI. And then we have the skills, which are default but you can click that and see how it looks like. So the skills is the access that it has on your account. So it can write blogs, brand board, calendar, contacts, and so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna leave that by default. And then you can add a knowledge base in here and you can enable the capabilities. So it can do a web search and it can also generate an image. You can turn that on if you wanted to generate an image. But in this case, I'm not going to do that because it's not really applicable on our process. And then we have the instruction here, which is like a prompt. Book a customer who submitted double diagnosis but have not booked a call. And to test this one, so I'm going to test it out over here. So this concept doesn't have this information. So I want to know how it will react to that. If let's say it's only given the first name and email address and never continue with the diagnosis, then I want to see how it will follow up on that. Now it's after reviewing that specific contact, which is very, very good because it review the conversation, the opportunity, the calendars for any other appointments that it might have, and all the details about the specific contact before it actually write something to send out. And it's also creating the follow-up sequence over here, which is great. I love how it's doing that right now. Now I believe it is done. So let's see what it does. So contact retrieve. So this is where um, it verify the contact information, whatever is inside that contact. So which is good. And then we have the booking status confirmed. So no booking have been done for this specific contact. Email, such a quick follow-up. Because we don't have this field, I would assume that it's sent a general email to invite Julian or me, the task contact, for a call. And then it also write a 48-hour follow-up task. So we can still follow up after 48 hours if we don't get a booking or any response to this, which is good. I think it works really well. And I just opened my email and this is how it actually looks like. So, hi, Jill, and thanks for completing the double to diagnosis or receiver submission. We're glad you took that step. It looked like you haven't had a chance to book your consultation yet. This is a short 15 to 30 minutes because we don't have custom data inside. It didn't really customize that. But if we do have that, it will send that a very customized email, which is really great. And if we have phone number, that contact doesn't have a phone number, it will also send a text message, which is good. So it only took me 2 minutes to build. If I am to build this in a workflow, it will take me a little bit longer than that. And also I need to do a lot of steps for it to work. So this one, I would say I really love how it's working out so far. I'm going to publish this. One selected form. Okay, we don't have the form at the moment. So I'm going to change this to trigger. But basically, this is working well. The only thing that I think they're still working on is enabling the MCP. So currently we don't have the MCP and then the workflow trigger and being able to actually work inside an automation or create and build or read a workflow. So those are the things that the team is still working on um, in this super agent. But this one, absolutely game changer. And I love how this works out right now.